Welcome, sweet friends, to the channel Frugal Money Saver. My name is Emmy, my husband is Paul, and we are so happy you have joined us today. And a big welcome to all our new subscribers. Welcome to the family. Today's video, we're going to be talking about some old-fashioned things to do, old-fashioned items that we think have a pretty integral place in modern society. There is a sprinkling of a little bit of everything within those items. We're also going to share an amazing recipe that you all encouraged us to make using a boxed cake mix over the top, let's just say. We're going to go visit a friend of mine. I'm going to show you some of her beautiful home decorations. We just have a very full video for you. Let's get right to it. In Frugal Living, we don't only strive to save money. That is our mantra. We live a frugal life, meaning we live a life that we are conscious of where our money is going, but we also try to live a simple life, a life that is just full of experiences and tried and true things that make our lives just better and more abundant. Today, we're going to share some of those items from the past that we continue to use on a regular basis, and also actions that we do that are considered old-fashioned, but that we still do today. They save us money, they simplify our lives, and they just make our lives better. The other day, there was a total shutdown of airplanes here in the United States, pretty much. There was a system glitch with the FAA computers. Think about that for a moment. One computer glitch and planes couldn't fly. And we have become a society, and we've talked about this a little bit, that depends on electronics for pretty much everything. And we're going to encourage you today to get back to the basics and start doing things the old-fashioned way. It may really save you a lot of time, a lot of money, and it's just very good common sense. So the first thing I want to start with is, please don't rely on keeping your favorite recipes on an electronic device. Jot them down. I can't stress this enough. I know this book may look like a hodgepodge of paper sticking out, but these are recipes that I have written down that are tried and true, that Paul and I go back to time and time again. And I hope I can pass these down, my son, my nieces, my nephews, whoever it may be. Because depending on my computer or the cloud to never go down, or my phone to not break or lose a hard drive, you don't know. Write those recipes down. Please, I encourage you. The second thing, you're going to laugh, have a manual can opener in your home. Please, please. We don't even own an electric can opener. Your power goes out and you need to open cans of food. Please have a can opener on hand. Again, good practical sense. This is something that's considered an old-fashioned item now. Our kitchen would not be complete without it. A good practical kitchen tool. Here's another one we're going to share with you. Another item that I think is so essential for modern living, glass mason jars. I keep so much in them. This one has salt. This one has sugar. This one has oat. This has buttermilk mix. This one has buttermilk dressing already made in it. This is another old-fashioned item that saves money. It keeps items fresh. They're just wonderful to have in the home. Those mason jars are irreplaceable. I love them. We store everything in them. We really do. They are another great old-fashioned money-saving item. Another activity I want to encourage you to do is to write down physically telephone numbers and addresses of people you know and love. Most of our phone numbers and addresses are stored in cell phones or on redial on our home phones if we still even have them. Write them down. If you were to turn around and say to me, what is your son's phone number? God's honest truth, I have no idea. I look at his name on contacts and I push it. But I do have it written down here, as well as his address, my brother's phone numbers and addresses, family, close friends. I know you may think this is outdated or unimportant. It's really not. Today, we depend so much on technology, and if something were to happen with that technology, we would need to know addresses, physical addresses. Another thing, does anybody still have maps? I wonder, what happens if our GPS systems go down? Do you have an old-fashioned map? At least that would have main roads on it. I know this may sound, again, outdated, but these are just common sense things that I think we forget about sometimes. So please physically write down phone numbers, addresses of people you know and love, and put it in a safe place. And here's another item I think so many of us have replaced with digital copies. Let's turn the camera around. This is an old-fashioned item I refuse to give up, and that is real books. And the good thing about these real books is you can find them usually for a quarter, 50 cents, $1, because no one wants them anymore. Pride and Prejudice, Jane Austen. What do I have here? 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. This is a newer one, but the hardcover version. Walden by Thoreau. Wuthering Heights. Picking up and holding a book, there's just something familiar about it. It grounds us. It is a treasure that we can hang on to. Your library is another place. Get those books. I just got this cookbook out. I am so excited to try it. This is a beautiful brand new Mediterranean cookbook. I wasn't going to buy it. It looked tempting, but no way. I went to the library, put it on hold, and it just came in. I'm going to sit down, read it, touch it, feel it, enjoy it. Don't forget about actual physical, good old-fashioned books. Another activity we do that a lot of people think is not a necessity anymore, but I don't think I could do without it, is lists and planning. This Happy Planner book I have had forever, and I just put blank pages in it. My shopping lists go in here, my to-do lists go in here, anything I need to plan for, events, menus, everything is in one place. I am a hard copy type of woman, and so is Paul. He's always jotting down lists. These may seem like common sense, but I'm telling you, so many people heavily rely on electronics and digital devices to keep track of everything, and there is no guarantee with that. And we just want to encourage you to always be prepared. Another tip we want to give you, instead of looking at things digitally, look at them in real life. People, nature, museums, art. If you are able, we need to take advantage of any time that we can be together with those we love, if it's possible. Get out and see nature. If the weather permits, visit a museum, take an art class. Instead of living virtually, let's start living physically if we're able. And this last one is just something fun. It was something I did as a young woman, and I found it while we were decluttering the other day, and I had to share it with you. It is something that I don't think anyone does anymore. And if you do this, let me know. Let's turn the camera around and look at this one. This is another really fun, old-fashioned item that I refuse to give up. This is my sealing wax from when I was a young lady. My parents really encouraged me to correspond with my brothers in college, with pen pals I had, to always write a thank you note. And this is something they gave me. These are the exact same ones I use. What I would do is seal the letter with the sealing wax and then stamp it with one of the metal stamps. Here we have a little ladybug. a smiling little sun face. Do y'all remember when Holly Hobby was like the biggest thing? The letter E. This is not for children. This is just another way for us to add a special old-fashioned touch to our letters, to our thank you notes, and just let people know we're thinking of them. So these were just some encouragements to revisit those old-fashioned ways. Don't forget a handwritten thank you note. Don't forget manners. Don't forget the basics that we grew up with, that we were taught, and that we now teach our children and our grandchildren. As wonderful as the present is, and it is wonderful, we can learn from the past as well and bring that old-fashioned lifestyle into our modern day and have the best of both worlds. So I hope this was encouraging, especially during our no spend, low spend January, when we really need to focus on the things we already have within our homes. Now, I want to turn this camera around and get into the kitchen with you. So many of you were encouraging us when we told you we had a plethora of cake mixes. You were throwing out ideas on what to do with these cake mixes other than just make a cake. Well, we found a recipe, and I will link it down below, that was over the top. And we turned a basic cake mix into a bakery-worthy treat. Let's turn the camera around, get into the kitchen. You all were so encouraging about looking at cake mixes in different ways and using them up in something other than a cake. So what we're going to do today is make some blueberry pineapple streusel muffins. We were invited to a friend's house for lunch, and I thought these would be wonderful to bring. These are our ingredients. You need about a cup of blueberries, one 15-ounce box of cake mix. I'm using pineapple, but I bet yellow would be perfect, white cake mix, lemon cake mix, and this is 15.25 ounces, but I'm sure it'll be fine. You need a half a cup of milk, 2 eggs, a 1/3 cup melted butter, cooled. Then for the topping, I have 1/4 cup brown sugar, a 1/4 cup of flour, and about a 1.5 tablespoons of softened butter in here. And this will be our streusel topping. So let's get to work. We're going to whisk our wet ingredients first. So we have our 2 eggs. And the shells go into the compost pile. Half a cup of milk. Did y'all see that spill? I hope you didn't. And we have a 1/3 cup of the melted butter. Remember, spatulas are our friends. Now I'm going to whisk this together. This is thoroughly whisked. Now I'm going to add the dry pineapple cake mix. I just thought did you see that now? It's all over Paul's leg. I don't know today. I thought the pineapple would go really well with the blueberry. And I will link the original recipe down below as I always do, but I have tweaked it. So this is all mixed thoroughly. I'm going to add our blueberries. I'm going to fold the blueberries in. The pineapple smell is so strong from this cake mix. So I think these should be really good. I have 12 greased muffin tins, and I'm just taking my scoop. You're going to want to fill them about 3/4 of the way. Paul got this for me a while ago. It is wonderful. And now we're just going to take our softened butter and the flour and the brown sugar. We're going to mix that all together. So it's almost going to be like a sandy texture. And then we're going to sprinkle this on top. Now we're just going to put About a teaspoon on each of these. It's kind of fun during our no spend January to use different products in a new way. I have a little extra, so we'll just sprinkle it around. I did cut back on the streusel topping, and I also cut back on the eggs the recipe called for. So you can use my tweaks or the original recipe, which will be linked below. Now we're going to put these in a preheated 350-degree oven for about 23 to 28 minutes, and we'll check the middle to make sure they're done. We have been doing some serious baking. While this is in there, we've got bread going as well. Let's just say these came out way better than I thought they would. I cooked them just about 25 minutes. I inserted a toothpick in the center. It came out clean. Our home smells like a home-style bakery. These are beautiful. I'm going to let them cool for a little while in the pan. Then I'll transfer them to a wire rack to cool completely. This is a win. As you can see, we were busy in the kitchen today. Here's a loaf of bread from the recipe I shared the other day. I did increase the flour this time to 3 cups. I increased the yeast to 3/4 of a teaspoon, and I increased the water to 1.5 cups. I'll link that video down below if you missed it. This is the easiest bread you will ever make. Look at how beautiful. Now getting back to these muffins. Oh, look at the size of them. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm proud to bring them. Here is one of these muffins broken open. Look at how beautiful. This was a total win. So glad I listened to you all. Thank you. They were better than any bakery muffin or store-bought muffin I've ever had. They were really good. And coming from a box mix, we were kind of like, well, we'll give it a shot. My goodness. I was proud to bring them to her home as an extra added little dessert for our luncheon together. Now, her home is so precious to me. She's one of my absolute best friends. She's like a sister. And she had kept up some of her Christmas decorations just because she knows how much I love to visit her home when it's all decorated. I asked with her permission if I could take some photos of just the little nooks, crannies, and corners in her home that were decorated for the holiday season. We are going to turn the camera around and just show you some nooks and crannies in her home that just made my heart happy. Here you go. Just so charming and whimsical and country. Oh, it's just lovely. We had such a great day. Today's question of the day. What do you still insist on doing the old-fashioned way? Please share that with us down in the comments below. What do you do that most people would consider old-fashioned, but that you continue to do regardless? It will not only encourage our viewers, but it will encourage us as well. There's nothing like exchanging ideas and encouraging one another to save money and live simply. Again, have the best of both worlds. This wonderful present age we're living in and the wisdom of the past to save money and encourage us. Thank you for sharing this time with us. We hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. Come on in and be part of our family. If you check our comments, they are just filled with wonderful, wonderful insights and sharing. And we thank you all for that. We ask you to be well. We ask you to stay safe. And above all, we wish you blessings. Until our next video, may God bless you.